We're live in our car. Still at a truck stop because I'm pathetic. See if anybody comes in here. Got my coffee though. How's that? Come on, let's get some people in here. Shall we? Get some people. You guys are going to help me occupy some time. Too slow. What's too slow? Next gen is first. Air Slow Ride Trucking. Oh, what's up? Daniel Ladami, Air You're in Joplin. Of course you are, Daniel. Of course you are. See, it's not in a semi. Just thought I'd tell you that. I hope some more people come in here because I really don't have much to talk about. So I guess it's par for the course. Oh, let's see here. We are live. Hello, you at the drive-thru at Popeyes? No. Next gen's in Georgia. You're heading to Tulsa now, Rick. Well, I'm at the Flying J here in the parking lot. Weird. I got to take the truck to the shop tomorrow because I found a new leak that I got to get taken care of before I leave out Monday. So tonight or tomorrow morning, we're going to get in the truck and tell Kenworth, hey, you need to fix this. So that's going to cost money. Antarctica is an ice walk that surrounds us. Your thoughts? An ice walk? My thoughts are ice wall? I have no idea. I've never been to Antarctica. GNC Trucking, what's up? You are first. Hit the like button. Thank you, Slow Ride. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. No, I was thinking about going to the Hard Rock Casino and see if I can imitate Salty Pirate and get a whole bunch of luck going on, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of don't feel like doing that. It's like, well, gee, Steve, what are you doing? Why are you in Tulsa just hanging out? Well, we left a couple of members at home, and then we took a couple of members of family to 21 Pilots is playing tonight. I didn't see the point of wasting a ticket for me, so I dropped the family off, and here I am. So I got 3 or 4 hours to kill. So I texted a couple of people that live in Tulsa, but they didn't answer, so. So I guess I'm kind of in the self-abuse here. Where's the leak? It's on the right-hand side. There's a clamp that I've tried tightening, so I think it might just be a bad hose. But it's not something I want to mess with, so what I'll do is I'll go into Kenworth tomorrow and say, hey, you guys fixed a leak. I was wondering if you take a look at this, see if it's related to your repair. And I think it's an easy fix, but it didn't happen until it got cold last night. So the moon is flat. No, I don't think it's anything major, but it's enough that it took about an inch of antifreeze out of the reservoir, so it's a little bit more significant than I like. So we're getting it fixed. So we'll deal with that tomorrow, and then I got to load Monday, leaving out for Ohio. Nobody likes bad hose. No, we don't. Ratman, where are you at? You at home? You're probably at home. What's leaking coolant? a hose is leaking coolant, the Kenworth. So I don't think it's anything major though, but we'll find out. You know how Kenworth is though. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's a small hose, easy clamp. That'll be $500." You know, spank me hard. Anyways, you guys, has anybody here in this chat? There's only 14 of you. Oh, it's all right, man. I understand you are a very busy man, and sometimes all we can do is play phone tag. But I was thinking about going to Hard Rock Casino, killing time while my significant other is at the concert. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm about 5 miles away. The Garmin that I have in this car won't find it. I mean, it's easy to spot, you know. So I think, according to Google, it's like 10 miles away from here. I don't know. How far is it? Let's see here. It says I am directions 5 miles away, 10 minutes away. There are events in the heavy metal realm on every weekend except this one. Or else I was just going to do that. But local scene here kind of sucks, I guess. Cool it is for summer, and it's like a good point. But you know, I missed doing a weekend live last weekend, so here I am. Or did I? Did I do a weekend live last weekend? I can't remember. Nathan Eberl. So, how's it going, Nathan? I think that my channel is peaked, right? I was working on a vlog last night on the computer, and I just scrapped all of it. I was tired of myself. I was tired of all of it. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with this channel, to be honest with you. You know, my live feeds don't do as good, and I'm honest with you. Got a sister in Tulsa, but she'll get you drunk on holy wine. Check for live, what's up? You peaked in high school? Yeah, so did I. Join the crowd. So, pick a subject, guys. Ask me any dumb question you want. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Nothing? Alright, well maybe I'll end this live feed. Obviously everybody's in bed, or they're out doing cool stuff. Thank you, Ratman. Thank you. I don't know. I think I'm doing well, but I'm not inspiring the people that I want to inspire. But I'm glad. I'm thankful for what I got, you know. So, but you know, hopefully by the end of winter, I'll be in even the smart. I'm glad you enjoy my content, Slow Ride. Big Q's, and what's your favorite guitar? That would be BT Rich. BT Rich has got a new line out called Shredzilla that I really, really, really want, but ain't no affording that. Lots of great metal shows going on. Saw Vixen last week, and they played a bunch of Femme Fatale tunes. Wow, that's cool. Hanging in Tampa, nothing cool. I'm sitting here trying to find the lows. This is Truck for Life. Where are you sitting at, Trucker for Life? Anthony T, I'm into how you inspire some folks. Well, I appreciate that, right, man? Inspire me, oh great one. I think that, you know, basically what happened was I took some footage on Halloween Day, and I found myself talking too much detail. And I thought I took more driving footage than I did. So in the end, if I would have downloaded all of it and put it on the thing, it would have been like a 30-minute vlog with me just talking, like with maybe 3 minutes of driving. And the song that I wanted to use, I don't know, it probably would have annoyed the hell out of all you guys. But I don't know, I got to stop deleting files when I'm not in the mood. I guess we're coming up on this. There's a few things that I'm worried about. So, Indianapolis. You can't find a load out of Indianapolis, Truck for Life? Are you trying to go somewhere specific? I'll tell you what, Truck for Life, you want to trade places? You can run the spot market. I'll go back to Schneider and run orange trailers all day long. Well, it's not, I mean, it's not like I don't like talking vlogs. It's just that I put too much detail, right? You're really good at what you do, Rat Man. You really are, and you have a lot of good footage. You got good equipment, and you know, and there's I don't know. If I was in the mood, I could have done something with what I had last night, but I don't know. I deleted the files. I got to stop doing that. But no, I like your vlogs, Right Man. Ordered a new amp for the truck, Boss Katana Air True Wireless setup. Slow Ride, I saw those, man, at Guitar Center. And see, if I was home right now, we'd be playing my new Schecter that I got. But which is a log, man. That thing's awesome. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It's good. It's not awesome. I've got awesome guitars and I got good guitars. This is a good one. I saw those Boss Katanas, and they seem like they'd be pretty cool to have in the truck. Do they run off of batteries? Am I seeing that correctly? Shorter's better. Long on those vlogs. Long on those vlogs, in my opinion, says Shadow Wolf. I agree with you, Shadow Wolf, and that's why I deleted, because obviously I talked more about the situations than I thought I did. And then I was trying to be funny with the Halloween thing, because it was basically going to be a Halloween vlog and how scary everything was. And I screwed it up, because I think what screwed me up was that my load got canceled literally the night before. And so I was stuck without a load all day. And so I was kind of more concerned about that. You know, I've done the whole run YouTube instead of my business thing. I've made that mistake, and I'm trying not to do that again. So, and by the way, I'm still happy at Like Trucking, so don't think I'm wanting to leave the spot market. It was just a comment. Drinking Bean the Cup coffee. This is not Bean the Cup coffee. I have a Katana, pretty cool. They don't draw much and can easily run off an inverter. Okay, cool, Yukon. What kind of batteries does that thing take? Now, I really need to put a guitar in the truck, because I got this little amp, or not little amp, this guitar trainer Tascam thing. It's pretty cool. Now, I will say this. I have been playing along with backing tracks, and you can thank Red Monkey Trucker for that. I was watching one of his live feeds last week, and he was doing a guitar playthrough with a backing track, right? And so I asked, where do you... So my favorite key is E minor. So I found a ton of guitar backing tracks and all these different styles and the keys that I want. And then the other thing I found was some really good guitar lessons, like Tom Hess. Yukon, you familiar with Tom Hess? And I thought, wow, you know, so now my YouTube feed is all about guitars, and I've been watching a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyway stuff. So about the only truckers I've been watching is, well, I won't say, because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. The usual crew. But I've kind of backed away from the YouTube thing for a little bit. No batteries for the 50-watt model. YouTube has awesome backing tracks. It does. You all inspired me to start doing videos on YouTube, and Snorlady inspired me to do keto. Awesome, big. I missed it. Um, a couple of guitar shops around here, and I always like checking out the oddball guitar shop. And I wouldn't mind finding a Gibson Explorer either, but like I'm gonna afford one, right? But the BC Rich stuff, I mean, you never know when you might find a USA series that someone doesn't know what they have, and therefore they're not charging enough for it. One time I brought in a BC Rich Bronze Warlock, which is one of the cheapest piece of craps. That's and I took it into a pawn shop. I was selling it to him, and the guy almost gave me $500 for it because he thought it was a USA custom. And then he found the bronze series after. I'm like, oh man, I almost got $500 for a $50 guitar. There seems to be a lot of us that play that we should guitar. We should have collaboration. This Thomas Hess stuff, and I don't have a lot of space. I was doing a drop and hook in Springfield, Ohio, too high, and I pulled a muscle and caused nerve damage trying to get that trailer down. And what I should have done, because I'm an idiot, but I didn't, is call the yard dog, say, hey, can you lift this up so I can lower the landing gear a little bit? But they were being peons over there and ticking me off. So next thing you know, about a month later, I can't even play. And we had an important gig. And I was able to heal, but I was only able to play another guitar player that used to be in the band to finish the set off for me. And really don't have full motion of my ring finger. Like, I've not done a video like in a month, or just like no good ideas and my editing sucks. I've got to up my game before I do another, I think. So Shadow Wolf. Yukon, are you still retired? Thomas Wilson, what's up? Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So Jeff was live yesterday, and I started getting texts, sniffles, and what it was Jeff was talking about the other Steve. See, here at Like Trucking, we have double of everybody. We got 2 Jeffs, 2 James, 2 Steves, a couple of oddball guys. I mean, we're all odd, but you know. What about getting the band together for a video? Ervaquera, so here's the thing, man. My main band is Apnea, right? But Apnea disbanded about 2 years ago, and I started a new band called Sulk with ex-members of Apnea. And we're not death metal. We're more of the doom, Black Sabbath kind of stuff. But we haven't practiced in over a year. It's like I had to focus on my business. I had to focus on my health. And it got to the point where I couldn't even stand for a full band practice. And so now, with that being said, there is some GoPro footage of our last band practice, but where the GoPro was, it's all ride symbol. So it's like dang, dang, dang. It's like taking over everything. So, but I would like to get a camera in there and actually have band practice. Now, if you go to Sulk's Facebook page, SULK, there were some live videos that we put up there. So I think it's on that page. But you're right. But we haven't practiced in a while, and our other guitar player, he's in several projects. Our drummer, he's usually a pretty busy guy, and of course, my wife's a bass player, so it's just a matter of getting together. We're all in our 40s and we're homeowners. We're not looking to get signed. We're not looking to play out every weekend. We're over that. So it's just a matter of, and then the next practice we do, it's going to be like, do we want to scrap the songs we've written, or do we want to try to relearn them, or what? So So video practice, right? Two guitar players while I work alone, says Yukon. Well, Yukon, you're a much better guitar player than me. Think about that. I need help. I'm a rhythm player. I'm not. I can do melodic leads, you know, and that's what's cool about these backing tracks is now I can kind of work on some stuff, but I'm so rusty on my theory and my shapes and my scales and my exercises and everything. I just, you know, I'm a one-trick pony. I mean, if you guys look at all my live feeds I've done with the guitar, it's all in the heart. I can show with one finger, so slow ride. Yeah, that's the kind of person I am. There's some destitute looking people in this parking lot. I'm kind of wondering if I'm not in some kind of imminent danger. Tell you what, man, country's kind of gone to crap. There's more and more poverty. More and more homeless, more and more destitute. I just don't get with a lot of other players. They're great players and all. My sound is just too big. I like. Okay, so we'll talk music. We'll bore the crap out of you non-musicians. So one of my favorite albums of all time is Metallica and Justice for All. Because the guitars are layered like 10 times. And Crowbar's, anything Crowbar's ever done, I like a big wall of guitars. The last Apnea album that we did, there's 4 of me. There's 4, 2 on each side, 2 on each speaker, right? I like a big wall, crush you kind of sound, right? And so when it comes to the live, I like having that rhythm underneath the lead. And also a lot of like Paradise Lost type stuff where there's always a melody going on. Like Yukon, are you familiar with the Amorphous Scale of 1,000 Lakes? That is like the ultimate kind of stuff for me. That and Paradise Lost where there's always a lead melody going on and that kind of thing. So I enjoy 2 guitar bands quite a bit. Team Tiny, good album, but Lars with the free music turned me off. Well, you know, think about that. Metallica got a lot of flack for going after Napster. Both them and Dr. Dre, was it? And they were ahead of their time on that because what they didn't realize, I mean, what they realized was that the music industry was going to suffer because of all the piracy. And so they were kind of doing the music industry or trying to do the music industry a favor. And while they lost a lot of fans because of that, it you know, the MP3 spreading industry quite a bit. Acceleration rules, lazy people, thank you. What's up, Team Tiny? I think I already said hey to you. So do a band video practice and spin into solo videos for each member like Kiss did with the solo album and 5 new videos, right? So, but I've kind of awakened my musical part of the soul, you know, with the backing track thing and the, you know, what I had this old piece of crap Fender that I'd given my son. It was like a Squire. It's the beginning level. And after, you know, he didn't want it anymore. So I was playing around with it. And I realized that that thing, the neck was like, you know, you tune it to itself, it would sound like crap. You tune it to the chords, it would sound okay. But then it was just way off, right? Way off. So I went ahead and traded it up for a Schecter that I got now. And that Schecter is actually pretty nice. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, is like thinking about picking it up. So, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, Metallica, they're super rich anyways. What's a couple of bucks? People, you know, that's the thing. You know, we would play gigs and they expect us to play for gas money and beer. You know, it's just like, you know, we kind of need to make a little bit of money on this. You know, a lot of original creative musicians have gone to tribute bands and cover bands because that's where the money is. There's one of the best death metal drummers in Springfield now plays for a 70s funk, 70s 80s era type, you know, cover band. And he's making more money now than he ever has in his original career, you know. Unemployed people are lazy. Every trucking company is hiring. Always some excuse. There's a few out there. Videos just don't do it justice, though. Yeah. Metallica is just noise. Johnny Sacco. Playing the same beats, Rich Warlock. I'd like to see that slow ride. I'd like to see that.
When it's safe, you.
Google Maps telling me to take a U-turn. I ain't going to the casino. What series Beatsy Rich is that slow ride? Is it American, USA? Cover bands make you sick. Johnny Sacco, you are the most negative person in my channel. You know that? If we're talking about trucking, you hate owner operating. If we're talking about music, you hate Metallica. You hate this. You hate that. Why do you even watch me, Johnny? You know what? Here we go. Let's see. Someone take Johnny out. Put him out of his misery. More money in weekend cover bands making $500 in a Friday night. It's just a phone call away. Yep, you could do it. See, I don't have the ear for that because you know when you go from like Tom Petty to Metallica, which some of the cover bands do, you got to have a wide range of space. There you go, Thomas. There you go, Thomas. You got a wrench now. So you know it's. I just don't have the skills, you know, and I used to blame the fact that I didn't have a good job, so I couldn't afford the lessons. I used to blame that I couldn't get good equipment. I used to blame that I had to work 40 hours a week while other people that were better guitar playing were able to, you know, practice 8 hours a day, you know, but I realized that it's all me. If I would have made it a priority, I'd probably be up there shredding just as good as you, Connor. Yeah, it did shrink. Don't need a wide range, just need a line 6 helix. I've never heard of the helix. They call it talent. Edward, it doesn't. Talent, I don't know. Some people, talent comes naturally, and other people can develop it. Trust me, I know. What do you think about groups taking on new frontmen like Journey or Queen, Team Tiny? We have reached the age. Well, let me backtrack. So, one time I was at the local fair and the Temptations were playing. The Temptations, like, and not one of them was the original member, right? We're at that phase where our music is now that kind of situation. Look at all the 80s metal band, like the glam metal bands. You know, you got like 3 different versions of Rat out there. You got 3 different versions of Great White. You've got 2 different versions of Queensryche and you know, it's kind of not that Queensryche's a glam band, but I'm just saying that and like in it, wasn't there a reality show where NXS was looking for a new singer? We got Michael Sweet that sang for Boston, you know, and just all, you got a lot of these glam bands that have different singers now, and it's just, I don't know, like, you're almost watching a cover band pretty much that has the rights to the name. That's pretty much what Judas Priest is now, except for the singer. My son lives from Metallica. Check out the Line 6 High Stomp. I use that with the Klon guitar and custom audio while everything is programmed into the HX. Hey, I've been wanting to get like an effects, like pedal board kind of thing. Kind of expand my sound a little bit. Queen kind of needs a new frontman. Freddie died years ago. Hair bands rock. That's my jam. Says Slow Ride. Checker Dean. Sometimes the art supersedes the artist, right? Duran Duran rules. Fight me. Pale Rider. I was watching Axis TV, and there was a live concert of Duran Duran. He's actually a really good guitar player. He's kind of heavy-handed, and by that I mean very palm muty, he could be a metal guy, right? And he was playing the same exact amp I have. It was kind of cool to see. So I'll agree with you, Pale Rider. I'm waiting for Pale Rider to do a video with Duran Duran playing and some driving footage. I know that's not really Pale Rider style, but it could be. I enjoy putting the music driving footage because that's for me, man. I like the feeling of going down the road with some good jams going, and that's kind of what I try to portray with that. But yeah, Yukon, what do you recommend for a pedal board if you're still watching? And and I'm kind of a different kind of Metallica fan. I don't mind the new stuff. Here's the weird thing with Metallica, right? When they did Load and Reload, I had no access to cable or MTV or any of that, right? Back when MTV still played videos. And so I didn't get to see the imagery that they were portraying back then, which I recently, just now, like a week ago, saw the video for Until It Sleeps. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, that's not Metallica. But when they came out with Death Magnetic, that brings up good memories for me because that's when I started truck driving. I went to Walmart and bought that CD. I was in Nebraska heading to Salt Lake City. And that was like their return to being heavy again, or heavier, I guess. And I really enjoyed that album, and I really enjoyed this newest album, Hardwired. And songs like Spit Out the Bone and Hardwired, Atlas Rising, what's known, Lords of Summer. Those are old school sounding good Metallica songs right there. And then there's a guy on YouTube that basically copies the guitar sound from like the Injustice for All era and plays those songs. Like, here's what Spit Out the Bone would sound like with Injustice for All setup, right? And it's actually pretty cool. Back in '87, I went to a concert in Fort Worth where Ted Nugent opened up for Kiss. Kiss put on a terrible show compared to the Nuge. You're right, Pale Rider. And what's funny about MTV back in those days was that they had a top 10 every single day, right? And they were trying to get away from the metal stuff, but yet the top 10 videos of the day, 8 or 9 out of 10 of them were always like hard rock or heavy metal. And back in the day, it was like VH1 was the hip hop, rap, R&B stuff, and MTV was more of the new wave, and then the heavy metal and hard rock stuff. What's your opinion on Dimebag? Dimebag's awesome. I think that I don't worship him like a lot of guitar players do. I know Steve Berger's the hugest Dimebag fan. I got some friends that got to hang out with him in Springfield when Pantera played Springfield. a long time ago, and back in 96, 97, I think. Um, but I've owned a Dean guitar, and I'm not too like hip on them. Um, but my favorite Pantera album is Far Beyond Driven. I never really got into Damage Plan. Um, the thing with Pantera is on the local level, every single band was trying to sound like them. Every singer wanted to sound like Phil Anselmo. And it got to the point that they ruined Pantera for me. So now I can listen to Pantera and appreciate it. Whereas back then I was just so sick of hearing it because every band worshiped them. And we were kind of like different. We didn't do the Pantera worship. But Dimebag is a good guitar player for sure. Eric when MTV play videos. MTV still plays videos. It's like for 2 hours in the morning between 5 and 7. And there's like they play a video and a commercial. Video commercials. Video commercials. And there's no rhyme or reason. You might hear a Beyonce song and then they'll play like Mastodon. It's weird. Kill 'Em All Masters is their best albums in my opinion. Nate puts this in there because they were dealing with the death of Cliff Burton, and it's very angry. And I think that Justice was Hetfield's best lyrics. I mean, each song was just like a book, and it was just awesome, So, but I agree. Those 3 albums are the pinnacle. And it's good, but like Ride the Lightning just kind of like here's Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning did this, and then Master Puppets did that, and then Justice kind of kept that, and then the Black Album, thank you, Bob Rock. What's crazy? Pantera was a hair band before Cowboys from Hell, right? Yeah, that's true. A lot of people don't realize that. And Natas, what band is kind of credited for giving Pantera their new sound from their hairband days? X-Hoarder. X-Hoarder was the one, like, I always thought that X-Hoarder was a Pantera wannabe thrash band, but no, it was the other way around. Pantera, like, here's the direction you need to go, and they did. And so, if, go back to X-Hoarder's Slaughter in the Vatican, you're basically got a more thrashier version of Pantera with less groove. So AC/DC, I like AC/DC. Yep, that's always a trick question they test. What's Pantera's first album? Everybody's like, oh, Cowboys from Hell. No, that's not true. A friend of mine I was with in the Marines. I got a whole 11 people, but we're talking, man. We're having fun, right? And my wife was listening to Anthrax earlier. It's like a best of kind of thing, and I'm a huge Anthrax fan. All the big 4 thrash guys: Angel, Testament, Forbidden. Angel, Testament, Forbidden. I mean, that was a fun time for me, man. I was really discovering a lot of underground music, and I find myself starting to buy albums now, like vinyl, and those are the albums that I'm buying because I've got like over 2,000 CDs, and I want to like get vinyl of like the top albums for me. Slayer. We don't talk during Freebird out of respect, says Eric. And I think, when it comes to classic rock, like, for example, the radio only knows that Black Sabbath has three songs, right? Play the obscure stuff. Even satellite radio is pretty bad about that. It's like, how many times do we got to hear, Iron Man or War Pigs. You know, how many times do we got to hear the same two Kiss songs or the same two Skinner songs? You know, it's like, you know, there's a radio station in Springfield that I swear I despise Freebird and Sweet Home Alabama. My favorite Skinner song is Simple Man. Oh, snap, got... Okay, I don't know what you're saying there. Great to see you, Snowroller. Be safe. Night, night, Pale Rider. I worked for Chuck Bailey for 6 years. Wow, slow ride. Doesn't he own, or not, doesn't he work for a trucking company, Slow Ride? He was a dispatcher or something, right? I've never been into Frank Zappa. You know, my music taste is kind of weird. There are bands that you think I would be into, and I'm not. And there are bands that you wouldn't think I was into, but I am. And so I'm not familiar with a lot of... I think I owned the Tweezle Zappa album, but it was more of a guitar wank-off kind of thing. Yeah, Safety Guy. What trucking company is that he works for? Do you know? Simple Man is better, but 3 guitar solo is hard to beat, especially in concert when done right. Right? You know, Air you know who else does 3 guitar solos? Iron Maiden. Lang Trucking, Bay Area. Oh, okay, cool. I've seen Testament twice. And the first time was a religious experience for me. And I think I went partially deaf after that show. I think my hearing's never been the same after that. I was kind of an idiot. I mean, more than I am now, you know. So, but I definitely feel the music bug come back a little bit. You know, you can't always think about trucking, man. I you know, sometimes I get so, you watch these live feeds about owner operators and running a business and trucking this and trucking that, and you know, here's this guy delivering this and here's this guy booking that, you know, and it's just, after a while, man, you just need to kind of break away and you know, kind of get a break from it. It's kind of used to jam with them in the shop. That'd be cool. Now, one of my favorite things that Testament ever did was they re-recorded songs from the first 2 albums, and then they actually did a song with Zetro from Exodus, who was the original Testament singer. And a lot of those Bay Area thrash bands kind of mirrored a lot of what was going on in Springfield. You know, I was there at the birth of Springfield's metal scene. You know, that's how ancient I am. And you know, I started the 3rd extreme band in Springfield. Public Assassin was first. Now, if you guys have heard of Richard Christie from the Howard Stern Show, then you know who Public Assassin, or you should go look and see who Public Assassin is, because that was his first real band. He moved from Kansas to Springfield to join that band, and they did really well and opened up for a lot of major bands. And then they disbanded and they moved to Florida, and that's where Richard got his start with some signed bands, and then toured the world with them, like Death and Iced Earth. And then he got hired on to the Howard Stern Show. You saw Testament Monsters Rock? That must have been, in Germany. Wow, yeah. I would like to visit Wacken or Wacken, however you want to say it. I would like to do that someday. You know, the epitome of all heavy metal festivals. But by the time I get to do that, I probably won't hear of half the bands that are playing. A lot of the bands that I listed are getting older now. You know, a lot of them are dying off of cancer or whatever. And, you know, like the old guitar player of Forbidden, Tim Calvert, he passed away. And just, you know, and it's almost getting to the point that when you see these band names that you're familiar with, you know, half the members are gone. Lang Trucking got shut down. They embezzled $13 million on a government contract. That's crazy. Volbeat, I like Volbeat. I bought one of their albums used, and I found it kind of, but I dig it. You know, they got a real heavy guitar. I almost got into live PD, man. There was an exit that I had to literally take because I couldn't get over. This Honda CRV has the biggest blind spots. I have an easier time seeing around my semi than this damn thing. No, I don't like Stone Temple Pilots, Big Houston. Absolutely not. There's not one song they do that I like. You miss the old days when you used to go to record stores and look through the CDs looking for new bands. Yeah, Nates. So there was a store called CD Warehouse up until 2 years ago, or no, a year ago. They shut down a year ago, and so they've been around forever. And so I would still go in there and look at CDs and buy the newest releases from them. And I was going to contact the guy that ran the store after they closed, because CD Warehouse was a chain out of Oklahoma, I believe, and they closed all the stores. And in Springfield, there's like one other store called Sticking in Your Ear. But they do a lot of overpriced stuff. So, the main guy at CD Warehouse, he started to let me know I want in on this, and he never did. But then I saw on Facebook that they're getting ready to open their store. So there's going to be a new store in town, and so I'll be back to doing that. And I think for a while I kind of got out of buying new releases because I was wasting my money, because the CD player at home barely works, and I don't like having CDs in the big truck because they get scratched up, and then a lot of bands aren't putting lyrics or anything fancy in the CD jewel cases anymore. So it's like, what's the point, right? So I'd rather just collect the vinyl of the albums that I truly, truly, truly like never want to lose, right? So there's going to be that feeling again, Nates. Tool is awesome. 9 Inch Nails, they're okay for me, but Tool is definitely one of my favorites. I like the new Tool album. You know, and that's the problem, though. A lot of people on Facebook are like, oh, the new Tool is so boring. Everybody's making a big deal. It's so overrated. You know what? Shut up. If I like it, I shouldn't have to feel bad that I like it. So go screw yourself, right? I enjoyed the new Tool album. Have I bought it? No, I got Spotify Premium, so I can, it's like I have one of those old school iPod, 160 gig iPod that has 90% of my music collection on it. And I haven't fired that thing up well, since last vacation. I brought it with me and just hit shuffle, and that was awesome. But yeah, I agree with you, Nates. That was that one band you got me into. You sold some hairband albums the other day for $107. Ratman was telling me about a friend of his that sells records and makes pretty good money online. If I had more resources, I would love to get into online record sales, to be honest with you. But and that's kind of, and now what happens is you buy the record, you have it at home, and it comes with a download slip, right? So you type in the code, and it'll download right to your phone or right to your computer, and you got the MP3 file, so you can listen to it digitally, and then you can listen to it analog, right? So, and I think that's cool. Whereas CDs, I don't know, I would almost prefer to do the record and then the download. So I was never a big Rage Against the Machine fan. I'm not too close to rap. I'm not a rap fan. What do they call it? Stuck Mojo. And I got to see them live, and they were just, I don't know, they irritated me. That was local shop kind of shocked. That was local shop kind of shocked and dollars to me. Yeah, CD Warehouse. I guess the owner just didn't want to do it anymore, and so instead of giving everybody the option to buy the stores out, he just closed, sold off. It took him about several months to sell off all to liquidate all the for Christmas, buying stuff that we really didn't even like, just to, I don't know, just because we want to see it go. But that's fixing to change. The place is going to be called City Music. So if you're a music fan, look that up next time you're in Springfield. I have my dad's full reel with a bunch of reels with everything from the Beatles to Johnny Cash. I don't play it much though. Yeah, that tapes, man. I've got a bunch of cassettes that I don't even know if they'll play. You know, with some of the people I'm seeing walking around here, I might just be on live PD. This Tulsa Flying J always has kind of sucked. Oh, there's Tulsa PD right there. He just drove behind me, so you guys see that? Where's the camera? Has he got a camera with him? Let's see, he's getting out of the car. I might be on Tulsa Live PD. Wait, has this Live PD just started too? 8 o'clock. You guys remember when Trucker's Coach was in that live feed and the cops came and knocked on his window? You guys remember that? Giant speakers on again. I listen to Black Sabbath. I was doing that just the other day. We got this pretty cool setup. The only thing I don't like about it is that there's a hiss, and I'm not sure where that hiss is coming from. Because we'll hook up a CD. I think it has something to do with the speakers, or it's not grounded properly. But I love doing the whole, you know, it's like Friday night, man. If I'm home on Friday night, we'll put on a record and just absorb it all. I bought my wife the Led Zeppelin 4 on vinyl, and we just it's kind of like listening to it for the first time again. You got the whole big record album, but yeah, you can't get that from an MP3. You can't get that from Spotify or iTunes. Is that whole like sit down, really listen to it, look at the cover, and you know, make an event out of it, right? You know, not just background noise for your favorite song. You don't see me on TV yet? Well, he's just sitting in his car, so there might be a look for him. Rob Bobby had one of his vinyls. Yeah, they have a unique sound. Now, I'm pretty sensitive on frequencies, right? And records have a certain frequencies that are brought out that you can't get on a digital form like CDs or in tapes. It's kind of lost in the quality, right? Now, with that being said, the first time I started getting into CDs and not hearing that hiss from a cassette, I kind of rediscovered a lot of bands that I kind of let go, or I was listening and hearing things for the first time, and as I developed as a musician, then I heard it again. So like there might be an album that I got into simply because it was like, oh, it's heavy, right? But then like later on, I would listen to it with clearer headphones and on CD. I'm like, wow, this really is awesome. And then as a musician later on, I'm like, wow, they're really doing some like technical cool stuff right there. So it was kind of cool, like rediscovering stuff that you've heard 100 times, and vinyl can do that. Not dead in the heavy metal realm. No, I've never seen that. Sound Wars. I've never seen that. Adam Thomas, what's up? There's a really good documentary, what's it called, about heavy metal, the roots of it. And then the second part of that series, Global Metal, that was really cool too. Cannibal Corpse, heck yeah, Spooby. I've seen Cannibal Corpse twice, and Richard Christie's band Public Assassin, they got to open up for him a couple of times. European CDs, you can hear them hit the strings. Yeah, you know, and that's the other thing. The headphones that they have nowadays are amazing. You know, back in the day, it was hard to get good headphones. But you know, one of my favorite things I used to do with Metallica and Justice for All is we had this big Fisher stereo system, right? And you know, my dad was a trucker and my mom worked second shift, you know. So after school, I would just crank that sucker and just absorb it, right? Because I was a teenager, I had nothing else to do. And then if I wasn't doing that, I was riding my bike with headphones on, right? And working on my freestyle and you know, and it's through bike riding that actually got me closer to music. That's kind of a weird story. What singer of Cannibal Corpse do you think is better? Corpse Grinder. He is way better than Chris Barnes. However, Chris Barnes is on my favorite Cannibal Corpse album, which is The Bleeding. So there's a good Iron Maiden cover band you can find here on YouTube. That's all we would call Iron Maidens. They're talent. Right. One of the guitar players is actually playing with Alice Cooper right now, or did. And yeah, they're great. There was a point where Steve Berger and I were going to go see him in Columbus. I was supposed to see Suicide Silence in 2009 when Mick got out a month after he died. This is Adam. The problem I have with Suicide Silence is the squawky, high-pitched vocals. Like when he does the low guttural stuff, I like that, but yeah, it was tragic what happened to him. I forget who they got now singing for him, but he's a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of bands that imitate Suicide Silence, and I think that annoys me too. Like Killswitch Engage, I love to sound like them. Annoy the crap out of me. This Trucker's Life, what's up? Big bucks. If it was calling in the first place. Yeah. I still had... Well, I don't know if I still have it or not, but for a while I still had my dad's old Fisher. The thing, you got these boombox systems now that sound real big, but back in the day you had to have your power amp and your equalizer and you know the cassette and the CD. It was all like separate units, and you hooked it up to, it was 100 watts. You hooked it up to your stereo, and your neighbors had to hear it too. It was awesome. And now it's like, it's kind of hard to achieve nowadays. Fishing Trucker, what's up? Cluster Trucker, what's up? Everybody's named Trucker. We've got Fishing Trucker, Cluster Trucker, Trucker Dean, Greta Van Fleet. They're good. My wife is a huge fan of them. She's a big Zeppelin fan, so she likes them. In fact, we were listening to them today on CD. So, I don't know. There's just like this retro movement. I kind of like that, you know. And it's usually young kids that weren't even alive during these times. All right, we're back. We're back. You've been out of Pearl. I like Pearl Jam. My favorite band from the era is Soundgarden. If you look at like old Soundgarden, if you want to hear Soundgarden at their best, get the album Loud Love. Metal song with Cornell. He had pipes on him. He could hit some notes. He was excellent. And Bad Motorfinger is the best Soundgarden album ever. You were a Lita Ford fan, not because of her music? Soundgarden and STP are basically the same band. No, I disagree. Stone Temple Pilots. There's a video before the singer died that was just absolute trash, absolute horrible. You could tell that he was on his last days because he was just so messed up on drugs. I don't know. I think that that's the problem with that whole grunge scene is they were all messed up on drugs, right? And you know, how many of those grunge bands are still out there doing it? I think I'm the only one. You know, Chris Cornell has passed away. Kurt Cobain passed away. Lane Staley passed away. But the best band I think in that whole era is Alice in Chains. I got to see Alice in Chains on the Thrash of the Titans, right? Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer with Alice in Chains opening. And they were good. So I got to see them kind of in their prime, I believe. No, Cobain he was not the root of grunge. You know, I'm trying to remember something like that. Is that right? They were kind of the root of the grunge scene. It's kind of started, and then Nirvana kind of came in. Nirvana just got luckier. They had more of a basic sound. But if you want to hear Nirvana in their rawest, go find their album Bleach. Oh, there was a song we're going to cover in my old band, Sensitive Creep, something like that. It's just open, you know. They're going to thrash it up. Saw Doc with Meat Puppets trashing Nirvana. Yep, they still mad, right? Yeah, I saw Alice in Chains with Tool at the Bomb Factory in Dallas. I think that was 94. Wow, that must have been a good show. Rick Jones, what's up? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm just killing time while the family is out having some fun. I could be, I don't know, there's a Denny's here. I could be in there just kind of wasting the table space, but, you know, I figured, well, the cops are gone, so no chance of me being on live PD yet. Operation Mind, period. The first EP is awesome, the self-titled, and the Warning is just as good. However, their second album, they're kind of like going for that 80s pop thing. But then Operation Mindcrime, they went full on metal, and that's one of the best concept albums. One of the best. I mean, that album has everything, and Jeff Tate's vocals is perfect. Promised Land's okay. The one after Empire, that sounds like it could have been Operation Mindcrime. Silentless City, who cares, right? But after Promised Land, I haven't been able to get into them, and a friend of mine gave me for free Operation Mindcrime 2, and it was absolute horrible. And where I lost my respect for Queensryche was I went and saw them open up for Iron Maiden, and I couldn't even tell the old songs. It was like a cover band, right? But with that being said, their new singer is actually pretty good. I found some YouTube videos, and he's actually like better than Jeff Tate was turning into. Yeah, Empire was one with Silentless City. Nope, still not on live PD. Rick Jones, they're at a concert, and in an effort to save money and not put myself through watching a show that I probably wouldn't dig, I just said I would drive you, and then, you know, I figured I'd find something to do. But the local scene's got absolutely nothing going on, and if I go to the Hard Rock Casino, I'll spend too much money, and the people that I thought were going to hang out with me, I can't even get a hold of them, so I'm kind of stuck here. Static X, I like Static X. They're okay. Isn't that the one the singer died? They played Springfield, I think, a while ago, but I missed the show. Music will never be as good as it was. Man, I sound old. Yeah, that's how it always is, though, right? That's kind of where we're at. Did you ever get into any punk rock like Misfits? No, I wasn't. The only punk rock I guess I was into was like crossover bands like DRI, Suicidal Tendencies, Um, there's a Christian punkish thrash kind of crossover called The Crucified. They were good. Oh, I can't think of. There's a couple others that I kind of like, but it had to be kind of like on the heavier edge. But I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. It just didn't resonate with me. Punk didn't seem powerful to me. I like power, right? But I do enjoy like some of the older DRI. I think I sat down one day and learned the entire DRI Thrash Zone album. But I know that DRI is not really like in the same realm as like the Misfits. White Zombie. White Zombie is another one of those bands that I felt was overrated. And everybody and their mother was listening to them, and I was so sick of it. So now, with that being said, I do like some of Rob Zombie's solo stuff, but a lot of people don't like his movies. I love his movies. I think that they're perfect. I mean this as a joke, but I think you like sitting behind the steering wheel and talking. That's true. That's my problem. I'm a narcissist. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, so White Zombie was just over and over and over. I don't even think I've heard one of their albums all the way through. And then Drinking Game, and you take a shot every time Rob Zombie says yeah in a song, you're going to die of alcohol poisoning. Flat out. We got 8 people in here. I haven't even got the email that I'm live, so notifications must not be going out. Let's see. Let's check our email here. Yeah, no notifications. Too funny. Yeah. Isn't that right, Mike? Yeah. Dun, yeah, dun, dun, yeah, dun, dun. Yeah, that's my version of Rob Zombie. You got notifications? We need to get him one of those steering wheels for a computer game so he can use it at home. Well, I didn't want to be that guy doing a live feed at the Denny's, right? And I'm not really hungry. I had a couple of hot dogs without buns. There McDonald's over the road, so I think they had Subway. And I don't know, that coffee just hasn't sat well with me. Alice Cooper, I like Alice Cooper. My mom used to take care of his grandmother in the nursing home in Phoenix. And years later, she would meet him in an airport. And she said he was the nicest guy. And it was about Alice Cooper. Hotshot channels. How am I in the hotshot channels? The only hotshot I watch is Ratman. I mean, nothing against hotshot guys, but Ratman Rodin's the only one I really watch. And I've been trying to promote his channel for him. Like I've got any power. I've got 9 people in here. How much promotion can I do? I think you missed why I'm in Tulsa because my family's at a concert and I drove them here. Been with you from the start. You're competing against Live PD. Don't worry about the views. I am. You know, and you know what sucks is Live PD's no longer in Springfield. Springfield said we got to take a break. And I think that one of the most popular people in Springfield is Officer Creek Mile and Lore, the dog Lore. And people loved watching him because there was a point where Craig Mile and Lore were just busting people left and right. and the main show, the in New York. What's funny is if you watch, there's an episode where Laura's at the control board, you know, and but Craig Mile and Laura are more of um they're more like the PR of Greene County at this point. They're really not out there busting a whole lot of people. You have 9 watching and 14 interactions. Pale Rider quit YouTube. 15. What? What's the best concert you've ever seen? That's a tough one. Say Iron Maiden. Both times. I saw him on the Brave New World tour, and I saw him on this tour. Book of Souls. That's where I got this shirt. I was so happy when I could fit in this shirt again. I need more Iron Maiden shirts. The best death metal show was Behemoth. And Merciful Fate and King Diamond. Those are really good too. I wish I could see King Diamond on this tour. And fun fact, King Diamond is actually a huge NASCAR fan, and he moved to Texas because of that. So he lives around the Fort Worth area. So, here you got this Dutch European singer that sings a falsetto, and his favorite pastime is NASCAR. It's kind of different, but those shows stand out. The bucket list band that's left is Metallica. Oh, and the last Slayer concert I went to, that was their farewell. That was incredible. Slayer was just on it. And I saw Slayer back in their prime, but they weren't too far behind on this show too. And it was real emotional because Tom Araya got up there and he was like practically crying because he knew it was like the last time he was going to see, Fayetteville, Arkansas or whatever, which is where I saw him. Guar, I have seen Guar. There was a club that we used to play in Springfield all the time, and we were supposed to get the opening slot for Guar. However, it was Guar and Dying Fetus, and they allowed no local openers because of all the equipment and gear. There's just no room on stage for a local band, right? And after, so we showed up just to kind of hang out, and we were let in for free. And so it was like, okay, we'll see what this Guar is all about. And it was an amazing show. And Dying Fetus was really good. They're one of my favorite death metal bands. Yeah, people wanting them off the stage. There are 2 bands that you don't ever want to open up for: Slayer and Guar, because people are not there to see you. They're not there to see a warm-up band. They're there to see those 2 bands. And same thing with Metallica. I would never want to open up for Metallica because people are not there for your stupid local Confederate Railroad. That's good. I don't do the Lemmy worship like everybody else does, but Ace of Spades is a raw song, and I don't own any Motorhead albums, which is kind of strange, I guess, but they were kind of the birth of combined thrash and punk, I guess. Not the birth, but they definitely combined the 2 elements. I mean, you had punk people that loved Motorhead, and you had like metal guys that loved Motorhead. Ratman just uploaded a video. I never owned any of their albums, but I did have a lot of their t-shirts. And that's the thing, man. I've got a whole box of 2X shirts that I can't wait to start wearing again. Yeah, I would love to do a European festival. I mean, I heard it's just like the Mecca if you're a heavy metal guy. And there's a lot of bands that play those festivals that can't tour America, so it's good. But I was blessed. I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest 3 years in a row, and so I've seen a little bit of a lot of bands. You had like 150 bands playing each year, and of course you can't see all of them, but they're running 3 stages at the same time, and I've got to see some really great bands that I'll probably never see again. My wife and I, our honeymoon was at the Milwaukee Metal Fest. And, and we got to hang out with Richard Christie when he was touring with Death. And we got to hang out in the hotel room, and actually we spent the night in Death's hotel room and got to meet Chuck Schuldiner before he passed away, and that was the same year Merciful Fate played. It was like kind of like a reunion show, and that was an amazing experience. Danzig, I like Danzig. He played Springfield a couple of times, but I missed it. Dio. And a lot of people argue that Dio era Sabbath is way better than Ozzy. Like some of Volbeat's concert videos, just Sea of People, right? Oh yeah, you get some of these death walls. Those are pretty cool. That was my favorite thing, man. I used to be a pit starter back in the day, and then that was my favorite thing to see in a crowd was a big mosh pit, and that was the thing with me. And one of the biggest mosh pits I ever experienced was in Milwaukee Metal Fest when Suffocation played. The only song you remember is Mother. There's some stuff on Danzig 3 I really like. Let's see if I can't find it. Let's open up Spotify here. I'm not going to play anything. We don't need a copyright strike. I'm just looking up some titles here. Danzig. I was in a band. We covered Twist of Cain. I was a drummer for that band. I was horrible. Anybody ever heard Danzig's Black Aria? Black Aria? Oh, How the Gods Kill. That is an awesome, awesome song. And then let's look at Danzig 4. Can't Speak. That's the other song I really like. So Can't Speak and How the Gods Kill. How the Gods Kill is just an awesome, awesome song. I love that song. Would you jump in a pit now? When it seemed like I was in a pit about a year ago, and I got my ass handed to me. I would Houston, because last thing I need is to break my leg or break my arm and not be able to drive. Right lane, what I missed? Start over. I would start the pit and then leave. That's what I would do. That was kind of my thing. I would start the pit, get it all riled up, and then I'd leave and watch what I created. That was my thing. Okay, so right lane, you need to look at How the Gods Kill. That is the best Danzig song ever. And Can't Speak is another one. Exodus. Yeah, I missed out on seeing Exodus. That's one of the old school thrash bands that I never got to see. I did get to see Forbidden, and that was freaking awesome. You're right, Team Tiny. We ain't in our 20s anymore. Yeah, man. Friend of mine, he's like our museum curator in the local metal scene. He's been posting some old photos, and there's a couple of them with me in the pit, and I'm just like, man, those were good old days, man. Those were good days. Those were good times, man. it was a positive way to let out aggression. Vinegar, man, you're just ready to tear it up. And those pit days were awesome. I love that because I never got into drugs. I wasn't even drinking back then. It was all about the music. It was all about the music. I never smoked pot. You know, mid 20s, and it wasn't to get drunk. It was just there, and that's kind of how it is still. But yeah, I miss those days a little bit. I really do. And that's kind of what that was the thing. By playing the music, I could help other people out. And one of the greatest feelings, guys, is when you've written a song. Let's say it's a song you wrote at Waffle House at 3 a.m. And then like a year later you've recorded it and you're playing out for 100 people and they're singing along with that song. That is a great feeling, and it's a feeling that I will always cherish. Apnea, we never made it big, we never were meant to make it big, but we got to do some fun stuff and play with a lot of good bands. And my wife just texted me. She's having a couple of beers at the concert, so that's good. And that's a great feeling when you have people that you don't even know wearing shirts, and singing along to your songs, lyrics that you pour out. Because my lyrics weren't about, evil or Satanism. It was about personal things that I dealt with. And towards the end, they were more positive. If you follow, it's a song about the law of attraction. It's a song about having a mantra to get you through life, And I was actually listening to The Great Ruiner, our last album, yesterday at full volume in the car, and it's brutal. I will to my own horn. We made some brutally heavy, awesome albums, and there's not one thing I regret in Apnea at all. Very few people get to experience that, right? Did you ever get into some of the one-hit wonder bands like Twisted Sister and Helix? I never got into Helix. Twisted Sister is not a one-hit wonder band, though. A lot of the one-album wonders I liked were the thrash bands like Forced Entry or Sabbath or a lot of these obscure thrash bands like Tankard. They're not a one-album band. Blood Feast. Infernal Majesty. Infernal Majesty had a song called SOS, Satan is Our Savior. And they praised Satan quite a bit on that album. And they kind of meant it too, because I guess the singer got arrested, stuff like that, I guess they're out of Canada. Annihilator, that was another good, obscure band. I was all about the underground stuff. That's why, I actually listened to a lot of Christian metal bands because they were underground, like Vengeance Rising, Believer, Barren Cross. It wasn't just about Striper. It was about, the Crucified, Crimson Thorn. You guys are like, who the hell are you talking about, Steve? But if it was underground, I loved it, and it didn't matter even if it sounded good. Years later, there's probably a few albums I could probably get rid of, but I don't know. Good time. Pod. Who is that? That's that Christian man. What's their full name, Big Houston? I kind of put Twisted Sister and Quiet Riot in the same category. I like Quiet Riot. QR3 is one of my favorite songs by Quiet Riot, The Wild and the Young. That is an awesome song. They go back, and the vehicle they use in there is from the movie called Damnation Alley. I know this is useless trivia that you guys could probably care less about, but I like that 80s dystopian, kind of feel that a lot of bands had back then. And so their first album and no, not QR3. QR3 had the new singer. The one after that, the one before that. Now you're gonna make me bust out Spotify again. Search quite right. There's that. Let's go to albums. Oh, they got an album called Road Rage. Huh. Wonder what that sounds like. Oh, maybe. Well, maybe it was on Condition Critical. No, it wasn't on that. QR3. Maybe it was QR3. Yeah, QR3, The Wild and the Young. That's a great song. Yeah, Striper was a Christian rock band. Still is. We got to see them a year ago. Stryker played at my middle school for free back in the day. You tell about Stryker or Striper because Stryker's actually a real band. POD sings Southtown. Oh yeah. They were that rap, like pre Limp Bizkit style stuff, right? Yeah, they actually played in Springfield, I believe. Christian music fans kind of crack me up because they would always go, "Oh, they're the Christian version of this band or the Christian version of that band." Like you're at a buffet and you're looking at the sugar-free desserts, It's kind of like that. And a lot of Christian metal bands want to play with secular bands, which I thought was kind of stupid because if you want to reach the masses, go to the masses. Don't preach to the choir. And Believer was a band that wasn't afraid to tour with secular bands. Same thing with Striper. I saw Striper with White Lion. So Limp Bizkit was too Papa Roach. Limp Bizkit. They have one song that was okay, but it got old. And how many times can you sing about your ex-girlfriend? Which the singer admits he can write albums about his ex-girlfriend, and that's all they were. White Lion, yes, movie White Lion. Now, let me tell you this about White Lion. Vito Bratta is one of the top guitar players of all time. While the singer and the bass player were running around like they were acting like they were in Van Halen. Actually ran into each other, knocked each other down. Vito Bratta was off on the corner of the stage, all by himself, and he was just. I had Pride, that album Pride, but I never really paid attention to it. But watching Vito Bratta play, it was really really good. I had a new respect for him, and to this day, I don't think he's in the music industry anymore. He just kind of took his money and just kind of like, I don't want nothing to do with that lifestyle. Yeah, When the Children Cry. Yeah. The best White Lion song I think was for me was their cover of um, Radar Love. I think that's pretty good. The hair bands. I was kind of weird with hair bands. I absolutely despise Aerosmith. Despise Aerosmith. The fact that Poison played Beast Riches annoyed the crap out of me. Shout the Devil is a really good album. Dr. Feelgood's pretty good. I was in a band that we covered Bastards. And that Motley Crue Netflix biopic is actually pretty good. I like that. It was weird though because the guy that played the singer that played Vince Neil in that Netflix show, he was that like crazy blonde dude in the Punisher. It's kind of weird seeing him in that role. Um, I had a Winger. I still have a Winger album. Um, I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I had Whitesnake. Whitesnake was actually pretty good. I had the self-titled album. Any kind of teenager in the late '80s, you had a Guns N' Roses. You had a Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, whether you were a metalhead or not. Yeah, I hate Smoking in the Boys Room. I hate that song. Okay, well, okay. Let me backtrack on the Aerosmith thing. I know that would get you some of you guys hurt a little bit. I like Kings and Queens. I like Sweet Emotion the first 100 times that I heard it. But like the '80s Love in the Elevator crap, I absolutely despise that. Absolutely despise that. But Kings and Queens, that's a good song. I like that song. So there, you have that. Um, Cinderella. Cinderella's second album, Long Cold Winter, is very underrated in my and James and he absolutely despises Def Leppard. I was like, dude, what do you got against Def Leppard? Now, Hysteria has like 2 good songs on it, but their best stuff was before the drummer had his accident. Wasp, yep. My wife's band covered a Wasp song. I won't say the title of it. Warrant and Skid Row. I was never a Warrant fan, but Skid Row, I had their first album, and it was kind of crazy because before Skid Row hit it big, they were being played on Headbangers Ball. Like they'd be the band that they played at 2 in the morning, like one of the last videos, right? And then they toured with Bon Jovi. Next thing you know, they were getting front row, first hour plays, and then Skid Row just freaking took off. And their first album is really good. I like that. Rat. I like Rat's first couple of albums. I got to see Rat a long time ago, and they sucked. The singer, Stephen Piercy, barely sing the material. And he would like, dude, we came here to see you sing, not help you out, right? And you know, musically it was okay, but Stephen Piercy, and I think there's a version of Rat, versions of Rat. Dokken was underrated. Beast from the East is one of the best live albums, and then Back for the Attack. That was in Tooth and Nail's pretty good too. What about Pump? No. I don't think so, Team Tiny. Crocus, yep. Oklahoma City Fairgrounds, Def Leppard. Awesome. I actually haven't heard unless they had a radio hit, then I turn it off. But I'm just I don't know. I just really kind of branch out. I was really starting getting the heavy stuff. Once I discovered Metallica, it was over with because what I liked about Metallica is they showed up in t-shirt and jeans. They weren't talking about getting laid. They were just talking about real issues that people suffered from, and they just went up there and let the music speak, and I really admired that. And that's how I got into real true underground, like thrash. These guys are just like me, and a lot of these underground thrash bands to this day, like we were talking about Chuck Billy of Testament. Chuck Billy tours the world, but yet he still has to have a day job when he's not touring. You know, it's not like none of these guys are getting rich. Metallica is a different story. Metallica is a fluke because you can find old evidence of them loading their own gear and putting out flyers just like any other garage band, but they made it big. And a lot of bands at my level tried to imitate that. 30 years later, they're trying to imitate that. So it's but a lot of these bands that I've worshipped and individuals that I really looked up to, I've been able to meet because we've opened up for them, or because they're so approachable. Underground people are so approachable, and it's awesome. Very rarely do you come across a guy that's a total, douche, in the underground world. John Armstrong, what's up? I think George Lynch from Dokken was super underrated. Right? There's a project that Michael Sweet did with I want to say George Lynch. I want to hear that. I need to get out of this car after a while. I go for a walk, but I think there's a group of homeless people in this parking lot. Probably could have picked a better spot to hang out. Went to a bunch of Iron Maiden concerts in high school. That would be cool. At home, I've got like a book of tablature of like 5 Iron Maiden albums that I've never cracked open. I need to do that. And you've seen me wear the shirt, but there's a local band called Transylvania that started off as an Iron Maiden tribute band with 3 guitars and everything. And they welcome back. What's up? Yeah, I got to see. I've never seen Judas Priest, but I did see Rob Halford open up for Iron Maiden. It was for the album Resurrection, I think. And I felt like I was watching the Judas Priest cover band, but it was cool. Now, I passed on watching, but I'm also one of those weird people that likes the Jugulator that has Ripper Owens, Rob Halford's placement for 2 albums. Rammstein, they're okay. The Kind Lust, that is the most awesome video ever. It shows them all in fat suits, and they just kind of get together and jam in the video, and they've got like chicks in limousines making out and stuff. It's actually kind of cool. It's a funny video. Look up Rammstein, Kind Lust. That's their best song, I think. Dude, you can't park there. Remember Rat Out of LA? Yeah, we were just talking about that. Looked at some of my old concert ticket stubs, $20 to $30. Can't even go to a movie for that now. That is absolutely correct. I think we're $200 in the hole with this concert. So that my kids are at now. So oh, greatest 3 guitarists. Oh God. I can't answer that because there's a lot of people you guys haven't heard of that just are absolutely amazing. But if I had to pick 3, like someone said, hey, if I'm gonna magically give you the skills of, one would be John Petrucci of Dream Theater. Second would be Jeff Loomis of Nevermore. And third would be James Hetfield of Metallica. Yep, $200. At least that's what my wife told me. That's why I'm sitting in a Honda, not going to a concert, because I wasn't really into the music, and I didn't see the point of spending $80 on a ticket for me. Jerry Reed. Guys, I'm not just Metalhead. I appreciate other forms of music, and Jerry Reed is a killer guitar player. Eddie Van Halen. I'm gonna tick some people off here. Overrated at this point. Why? Because there are a million guitar players that are better than him. But he's still. I mean, the guy sneezes on a CD, and they put him on the cover of Guitar World magazine. I gave up reading guitar magazines because it was always the same as either Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen or it's the same five players. Randy Rhoads. These people are are gone. It's like and mind you, I got respect for those guitar players, but and I got huge respect for Eddie Van Halen. One of the best Eddie Van Halen performances in my book is like a birthday celebration. That was really good. When Les Paul was still alive. Junior Brown is your newest favorite guitar player. I like I like guitar teams. Like I think that the two original guitar players in Flotsam and Jetsam are just like they're awesome. The two original guitar players in Violence, which is actually Rob Flynn of Machine Head, his first original band. Those two guys had really good chemistry. Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman, they made a good team. Of course, Iron Maiden, those guys are good together. There's nobody in Iron Maiden that outshines anybody else. They're all equally as good. Steve Vai's kind of whacked out, but he's all right. Prince is he could definitely be a metal guy if he loves cry or whatever. Satriani's good. Satriani had a line of amps for PV that are really awesome. So Eddie in Los Angeles, he's awesome. If I've heard correctly, I think his health is not doing too well right now. I've just heard he's extremely difficult to work with. Mick Thompson of Slipknot, Houston. The roots of Slipknot are a death metal band out of Iowa. I forget what their name was back then. It wasn't until they changed a few members and put the mask on that they hit it big. And the thing with Slipknot is the original death metal band that the guitarist and drummer came out of. They played with Public Assassin, which was the band that Richard Christie was in Springfield. And their original singer in that band killed himself. So when the bass player of Slipknot killed himself, that wasn't the first time they've dealt with that. Kirk Hammett, when he was in Exodus, I've never heard any of that stuff. Now, he did do a solo on the new Exodus album, which, my was a damn. That's a great album. Yeah, Jerry Reed is amazing. Who had a nasty Jerry Reed? I don't think he did. You might be thinking of Mel Tillis. Mel Tillis has a stuttering issue. Them old school country guys, man. Jerry Reed, Mel Tillis, Waylon Jennings, Kenny Rogers, that kind of stuff. I like that. 21 Pilots. And it's kind of amazing if you watch Jerry Reed in an interview. He wrote Eastbound and Down. That was like something that just poured out. Like 5 minutes, he wrote that song. And my best songs were written like that. Bocephus, yeah. Yeah, Merle Haggard, yep. Little White Coach, I didn't see you sneak in here. No, Mel Tillis had the stutter, not Jerry Reed. But Mel Tillis was pretty talented himself. I'm always amazed when I hear artists creating a song in 5 to 10 minutes, right? And and there's a lot of good interviews that Howard Stern has done about that. I know who Bocephus is. If you really want to find some freaky stuff, find Hank Williams III. He did a metal album with an auctioneer doing the vocals. That's kind of a weird album. James Taylor. Yep. I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy that any one particular musician is to be all end all. Listen to Jerry Reed, Caffeine, Nicotine, Benzidine, good to play several instruments. I've seen him twice, right? That's a real trucking song. Still not on live PD yet, by the way. Little White Coach, a little shout out to you. You did another parody. Willie Nelson. The very first song I ever sang live. Picture this. My dad was in a country band back in the day, back when I was like 7 years old. And he actually brought us kids to the bar. And of course, all we did was like hang out, play Space Invaders, remember that video game, and drink soda. But my dad actually had me come up and sing On the Road Again. And there's a picture out there somewhere. But that was the first song I ever sang live. Interviews on Howard Stern are pretty cool. I gotta be careful not to kill my phone here. Listen to Sturgill Simpson, current singer, Old Sound. There's a couple of bands that Harold has pointed to me that have that old school sound. There's like a band. Tex Crowley posted some of this on his Facebook page, but there's a group, maybe it's the same one, a group from Sweden, that sounds like they recorded this album in 1968 in Nashville. Is that who you talking about, Little Vine Coach? What are you doing, you old Rudy Poo? Just jumping on, chilling for a few, playing some World of Tanks. That reminds me who that is. I wonder. No, I don't have it on my. It'd be in my YouTube history, but that'd be way far back. My dad listened to a lot of stuff. Conway Twitty, Johnny Cash. Yeah, who could forget Johnny Cash? Eddie Rabbitt, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette. Yeah. Johnny Cash, man. I really love the biopic that was done with Joaquin Phoenix, man. I really love that movie. His cover of that Nine Inch Nails songs, Hurt, is just beyond amazing. And then God's Gonna Cut You Down. That's one of the best songs ever. Was listening to Tina Tubner a bit ago. Live, Don't Need Another Hero. Oh, yeah. Doppler, her best song is One of the Living. The first opening track for Mad Max 3. Jamie Johnson. Yeah. Metal guitar on that. Proud Mary. Yeah. Oh, Tina Turner's practically nude. Look at you go, Orion. Look at you go. I think my favorite band now is Chemist. Khemmis. They're a band at that level. They could do no wrong. They could put out a funk album and it wouldn't piss me off. Sturgill Simpson song, You Can Have the Crown song, live at Sun Brewery. Good version on YouTube. Okay, I'll check it out. I wish I could remember the name of that country artist that Tex posted. Guy from Sweden. No, I absolutely despise ska. John Armstrong. Although, you know, I was in a thrash band called Backhoe Butchery, and we played this festival in St. Louis. And the band that followed us was a ska band. It was like, now for something completely different. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. I don't know. It depends on what mood you're in. CCR, I kind of slow, plodding kind of way, and then Tina Turner's like all energetic and running around and stuff. So it just depends on what kind of energy you wanted. I think they're both equal in my book. I think I prefer the CCR version because it's all like just grooving, you know. And I think that Dream Theater should cover Black Betty. Thank you for the jams list tonight. I'm looking all these up and adding them to a playlist. There you go. Chemist. I posted one of their songs on Facebook there, Doppler. And that's actually a cover song, but I love Chemist. Blackberry Smoke, one of my favorite bands currently. Great Tom Petty cover of You Got Lucky, but all their stuff is great. I've heard of them. Finally, people old enough to remember the music I love. John, you've been missing out, dude. Good deal, man. If I can turn a person on to Chemist, man, the better. And they're coming up on the ranks, man. I made the mistake and looked at one of their videos and looked at the comments and people dogging them. I was like, man, I want to kill all of you. That band could do no wrong. I just, and what kind of sucks is that the current band that I'm in now, our sound was going for the same thing that Chemist already kind of like You know, my thing here lately has been more of the doom type metal, like My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, Candlemass, Cathedral. Cathedral's first album is the most extreme slow album you'll ever listen to. Well, I take it back. Other than Sleep or Sun O, but Sleep is really good too. Yeah, Dream Theater is good. I used one of their songs on one of my old videos on the old channel. Um, a friend of mine got to see Dream Theater and Fate's Warning together. That would be an awesome show. Fate's Warning is another band that doesn't get a lot of credit. I use a lot of their stuff, actually. Rat Man Rowan, you missed everything. I saw that you uploaded a video. I haven't watched it yet for obvious reasons. I've never listened to Buckethead. Just saw the Social Distortion 40th anniversary show in Irvine. Joan Jett was there and she still got it. Yeah, Joan Jett played a show in Springfield in the early 90s. It was actually really good. She's a rock and roll chick, man, for sure. She's not like one of these, you know, Britney Spears types. Did you call it AC/DC? Dude, AC/DC is the reason why I became a metalhead. My sister had this huge stereo system, and she bought Back in Black when it came out. And she would like that. Her idea of keeping me busy, because you know I was a pain in the butt. You know, I was like 7 years old, 8 years old. You know, and just too much energy, right? She would put on that ACD Back in Black album, and I would pretend I was at a concert playing guitar. And to this day, I still love that album. Oh, okay, Doppler. Don't you plays bowling alleys on the East Coast now? Hey, whatever makes her happy, right? Did you try those other bands I showed you about that sound, Orion? I think I was throwing like 3 or 4 songs at you. Lamb of God. Big Houston, we opened up for Lamb of God. One of the biggest shows I've ever played. The singer, Randy, at that time was a complete drunk, and he was a very nice guy. They hid in their bus. And then I saw them again with Slayer about a year ago. Oh, good deal, Doppler. Good deal. Yeah, Lamb of God. In a way, I think they're kind of overrated. They're kind of like a death metal version of Pantera. Too many bands try to sound like them, but you know, when a Lamb of God song comes on, I don't turn it off. Rush fanboy. I love Rush. Rush is good. 15 hour, is that? Oh, let's see. Now, you guys are gonna make me look up this stuff. My favorite album by Rush is Moving Pictures. But my favorite song by Rush is Working Man. Witch Hunt. Witch Hunt's the name of the song. Take Triumph over Rush. I haven't really listened to a whole lot of Triumph, to be honest with you. Whatever's been on the radio. of like Crocus or oh, what do you call it? Exciter. 50% of my day, I sit in the office bidding and looking over contractor bids. I look for some music that isn't mainstream. My office staff hate me sometimes. I'm going to have to make movable walls that separate me from them. You see a Rush and Billy Squire at the skating rink all the time. Now, with that being said, Neil Peart is one of the best drummers, period, to do today, back in the 70s. And you want to be impressed by a drummer, go watch Neil Peart do a playthrough. Well, I think we're going to be done. Edgar Winter, brother, made me listen to him all day. I haven't heard a whole lot of Edgar Winter, right, man? I like, to me, a lot of it doesn't depend on the genre as much as just where it's coming from. The singer of SOD/MOD, Billy Milano, he started a honky tonk, opened a honky tonk bar in Texas, and he was doing the outlaw, true, real honky tonk, like, here's my fifth of whiskey, I'm going to play a song for you kind of stuff, right? And it's like, they're not doing it to be popular. They're not trying to be like some of these popular country artists of today, It's true emotion. And as long as there's true emotion, man, I can dig it. I can respect it, Jethro Tull. I always have a grudge against Jethro Tull because he beat Metalhead in the Grammys. I also like Sammy Hagar when he couldn't drive 55 and was the Red Rocker before Van Halen days. There's some really good interviews with Howard Stern with Sammy Hagar. TJ Jones, what's up? I think that's the important thing, Houston, is you got to be open minded. It's like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm very open minded. I love all kinds of music, and I'll play him some, Suffocation. They're like, except that. Play him some Slayer, Cannibal Corpse. Oh, I'm very open minded. Yeah, except for that. Yeah, the internet's been a double-edged sword for music because now the artist has the power again. You can literally walk into Guitar Center, buy a guitar, buy the right everything from your guitar. I've got a recorder that will do that. And then upload it to iTunes the same day and be selling your music. And what's more global than the internet, right? So, in a lot of these pop artists, they're money making machines, and that's how they're treated, and that's how they treat their music. It's the song as a whole, not just a specific genre. I love a true artist and the symphony they mold from their words to the instrumentals. Andrea, my mother was okay. I already read that. Yeah, so it's John Armstrong. I think I referred to you as Houston. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean it's I saw it. That was back in my teenager. Like, I hate all country, raw. Gangnam Style. That's a fun song. Dog parody of Gangnam Style. That is a fun parody. Why do I always get the guy with the APU that smokes like a chimney and the exhaust enters my cab? Because you're just that kind of guy there, TJ. The internet has taken more than it's given to the music industry. Damn hard to make any money these days. You are correct, Ratman. That's where I said it's a double-edged sword. See another Metallica or Nirvana, like garage band, make it big and become millionaires. You're never gonna see that again, and that's sad. So it's a different ball game now. So when I create music, it's for me, it's for my friends. It's not because I think it's going to make me money. It's not because I'm going to hit it big. A lot of people I didn't tell people at work what I did because they're like, oh, you're trying to be the next Megadeth. No. We're not trying to be rock stars here. We're not under delusions of grandeur. Some of the YouTube covers are better than the originals. Everywhere you bring up a good point. So there's a guy out there that put out Metallica's and Justice for All, but put bass in it, and that's a really good. And then there was a band that re-recorded Saint Anger, and actually sounds better than the original album. Trucker Stable, what's up? That's not the answer I wanted. I need a heartfelt explanation on why me. Well, how important it is to have a CO2 carbon monoxide monitor in your truck. Concerts about the only way to make money anymore, right? And meet and greets and merchandise. You buy an album once, but you can buy like 10 shirts from a band. And now concert shirts are ridiculously high. $50 for a t-shirt. That's highway robbery. I know what it costs to make a t-shirt. Literally paying like $2 a shirt. And so $8 a shirt. So these guys that are charging 30, 40, $50 for a t-shirt, that's ridiculous. It was playing out. We sold shirts. We did 10 and 15, depending on what size you wanted. Merchant, yep. Or like a lot of bands, like in my realm, they'll put out tour only t-shirts or tour only vinyl pieces, right? You're gonna go watch New Kids on the Block? Man, we're going on 2 hours here. You just paid $30 for a social distortion hat? Well, see, hat makes sense. You can wear it every day. You can't wear the same shirt every day. I mean, you can, but it'd be kind of gross. But one of the things that bummed me out is I saw Slayer on their this is their final farewell tour. And so I know that this would be the last time I see Slayer. I couldn't buy a shirt because I was too fat, the fitted one, right? So it kind of bummed me out. And now I hold my beer. You have a big head, little Viking coach? Eric Aguero, nobody can top James Best on Marathon Live Feeds. New Wave is vinyl. I'm one of those guys that will pay big money for new vinyl with handwritten lyrics. Ratman, I had a friend of mine that owned a record store on the south side of Springfield, which is the richier side of Springfield, and he made bank. And it's amazing what people will pay for some of these vinyl pieces. And I would love to enter that world. If someone said, Steve, I'll give you a record store. If you quit trucking, I would do it in a heartbeat. Instant. I would love to enter that world. And my friend's store is no longer in business, but that's because of personal things, not because there wasn't a kind of helped me out because I was fixing to go broke with his store. I would love. You won't tell me what some of the vinyl is worth, right? You know, and someone gave me a good idea. He said that like when you go to thrift stores or flea markets and you're going through the record albums, if you see something that could potentially be worth something, you can scan it with a QR or barcode reader on your phone and see what it's going for. You know, there are people that do that with books and vinyl at yard sales and everything, and then they're able to sell them and make, you know, they might buy one album that might get $100. You know, they bought it for 10, you know, or 5. Yep. Snagged the corn vinyl, still sealed from the 90s a year ago, paid $4.50 for it. Dang, man. That's crazy, right? My oldest vinyl is Frampton Comes Alive. Wow. That's kind of what I do, man. I like I don't listen to Black Sabbath on a regular basis. If it comes on the radio, that's cool. But I will put it on vinyl. That's how you listen to Black Sabbath. You know, stuff like that. My wife bought me some vinyl pieces last Christmas, and I already had some, so I need to kind of write down all the records I do have so I don't start double buying. But, you know, in box sets, that's the thing now. People are paying like $100 for box sets on vinyl. Yeah, my record store gave half of what he can sell for, I don't know, and don't have to eBay. My oldest vinyl is Buffalo Springfield for What It's Worth single. I love that song, Spooby. That's gotta be worth something. If you're ever in LA, check out Amoeba Music record store. I would love to, Little Black Coach. I don't see myself going to LA. If I went to California, I would visit the BC Rich custom shop and then that record store you just said. And hope that my hope I don't get liberaled to death. There's this big dude with a broken leg keeps walking around here. Not sure what his deal is. Too bad you're not closer to Ardmore, you challenge. Yeah, well, come out to Tulsa, man. Hang out. Of course, by the time we get here, it'll be time for us to go. Listen to one and park the other. I do have a few pieces that are still in the, you know, they've never been opened. But they're not, I mean, they're not like they're going to be worth anything. I don't know. You know, a lot of first print CDs are worth something too on eBay. I have a lot of original print. Like, if you can find some old King Diamond on the original print, that's worth something. Right, man. He's watching the crazy guy in his truck talking to the steering wheel. Probably. He's probably sitting there walking around going, man, there's some sketchy people in this parking lot, right? Lawnmower jousting to the first blown engine. That sounds pretty fun. That's what music is missing. Posters, t-shirts, decals, all and art all used to be on vinyl. Air Vaquero, you know, Howard Stern once said that physical music is dead. And you know, I was tempted to contact Richard to see if I can't get in a phone call because he's wrong. In the heavy metal world, vinyl is still huge. Bands are still putting out CDs and fans still buy them. It's not like, it's not like MP vinyl and CDs and stuff are still like, hell, cassettes are making a comeback on some of the stuff, which I don't understand that, but still. Flying out to Arizona for a few weeks, or in a few weeks. Or in Tulsa, trucker's table. What music is missing is velvet posters and black lights. It's been fun talking to you guys about music, not about trucking. I'm kind of over the whole trucking thing for a minute. I appreciate you guys watching. Be safe out there. Watch live PD. Make sure what's missing is tube tops. Little Viking Coach, I hope that the next parody that you do is going to be in a tube top. Ratman, thank you. Call me Monday. I'll be running. Trucks go to the shop tomorrow again. Hopefully it's just minor coolant leak. And it's supposed to get down 18 degrees Monday, so that's going to be fun. So, but anyway.